Hey, greetings, fellow nerds. I am a nerd fighting fat, and this is my weekly fat fighting update. My name's Mark. I live just south of Salt Lake City, and I have battled being overweight my entire life. And, being a science nerd, this is my efforts to science the hell out of it. Gonna beat this fat. So I'm doing alternate day fasting, I'm working out, I'm watching sugar, and this in particular is my update of being on my 36th week of Mounjaro, and I'm still on the 10 milligram pen. So let's get right on to the numbers for this week. This is my personal results. So it seems like I've gotten things back on track. Um, back to normalcy. I had that little hiccup with a trip. This week I got a few swims in. I got a couple 36-hour fasts in, and for the week I lost 2.8 pounds. So I'm really pretty happy about that. With that, my total Mounjaro loss is now 56.6 pounds. Overall is 139.7 pounds. In my year to date, I have now lost 25.4 pounds for the year. So my blood sugar, actually got that to come down a little bit. It's averaged 111 for the week, with a high of 170. So a bit better there too. I have to admit, I've been a little tempted. The sensor here, I didn't put it far enough back. And so if I roll over on my left side, it'll compress and it'll trigger it to alarm and stuff. And so if you got a glucose monitor, make sure you put it far enough back. And hopefully that's not throwing my numbers off. I don't think it is. It compresses itself pretty quick and gives me the alarms. But anyways, pretty happy that I've got that down a little bit. Tried to eat a little cleaner on the carb side. And symptom-wise for the week, I had one day that had some pretty light symptoms, but mostly not too bad. Usually I just get really tired. Every now and then I'll have a week with a little bit more than just the tiredness, but this last week was I was just really tired. Just really the day after I took the shot, and sometimes I think I just need to take a nap, and then it would just be fine. Hey guys, for this week's For the Win, I found something that is spectacular, in my opinion. So if you guys have been following me, you know that I used to live in South Africa, and one of my favorite protein snacks is Biltong, which is a South African. It's like jerky, but it's instead of like smoked or they basically they soak it in like a vinegar and spice mixture, and then they hang it and dry it, and so they kind of preserve it that way. And anyway, I was in the grocery store the other day, and I noticed they had this there. So let's see if I can get that to focus a little bit. But it says basically it's Bledie Lekker, which Lekker is what is Afrikaans for taste good, and Biltong, and it says real Biltong for real South Africans. And I'll tell you, this is probably the best Biltong I've had since in this country. It is really good. I'm pretty impressed. So again, the nutrition on these is pretty awesome. It's 80 calories per serving, so that's 1 ounce. 2.5 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbohydrates, and 15 grams of protein. So super high protein, very low carbs, and it says 0 grams of sugar. But I notice it does have sugar in the ingredient list, but it's probably just like a little bit in the brining solution or something. And then, but yeah, this is spectacular. So on the back it says real South African style beef Biltong made right here in the USA from the very finest cuts of USDA approved beef. This is not a beef jerky product, but real Biltong made by using a traditional South African recipe. Bledie Lekker Biltong is the real thing, except no imitations. But anyway, way to go, guys who made this. This is really good stuff. And again, nutrition-wise, this is great, having like these protein snacks that are low in sugar, low in carbs. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And as a bonus, this is the first I have actually seen this in our country. They have Bledie Lekker. So this is proper South African droeworst. So droeworst is Afrikaans for dry sausage. And so it says this is Karoo style droeworst. So these have 100 grams, or not 100 grams, 100 calories per serving. A little bit more fat than the Biltong. It has 3.7 grams of fat, and this is a 1 ounce serving. So I'm guessing it doesn't say by the stick, so I'm not sure how much it is. But in the whole bag is 4 servings, and there's about 5 of these in there. So I'm guessing about one of the sticks is a serving. About has 1 gram of carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and it has 14 grams of protein. So again, very high protein, a little bit more fat in this one. But I'll tell you what, this is how you know it's the real stuff. So hopefully you could hear that snap. You know, this is, and you eat it, and it's not like the smoked sausages. It's dry, good stuff. Really good flavor. Again, I was super stoked to see these in the grocery store. It's kind of a little boutique-y grocery store. It's called Meyer Meats. It's up the road from me, but dang, this is awesome. So if you see this stuff, give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. So there you go. So as part of my garden update, I just wanted to show you how gorgeous this tree is. This thing is just amazing. And the flowers, they're just so big and soft. It's a flowering crab and doesn't really have a lot of scent. There's not really a lot of bees. I don't think there's a lot of pollen. That's how they do these flowering trees, but it's just gorgeous. It's just putting on a show. Anyhow, I thought I'd just show you that real quick as we take a little quick garden update. So these are my peas. I'm just going to show you they're all kind of coming out now, up now. You can kind of take a quick look at that, and so I take these guys here. So I make these with my 3D printer. So I just kind of put the vegetable and the variety underneath, and so I got those throughout the yard. But I got different types of peas in this. This is mostly the shelling peas in this, but they're coming up nicely. So pretty excited to see that these guys are coming through finally. This artichoke that survived the winter is getting bigger. So I'm excited. I might actually get an artichoke this year. And of course, that's those big leaves. That's the rhubarb plant next to that. And again, this is the problem corner that I've been working on. But you can see I've got my tomatoes planted. So these are called walls of water. And so the trick here is that you can see down in there, there's the tomato, and these have cells that hold the water. And if you put your hand in here, you can actually feel it's like way warmer inside than it is outside. They kind of soak up the sun into the water in the cells, and water's a really good insulator to begin with. And then during the night, it kind of lets it go, and out it comes. And so my tree is still kicking that I planted, my new tree. So good stuff there. So my garlic is growing really, really well. So I got several different types of garlic, and again, I made these signs for the different types. But there's German white, and there's Spanish Roja, and a bunch of different kinds. So this is music garlic over here. These carrots that I threw down last winter and somehow managed to come through are still doing well, and I got one radish in there too, so it's kind of funny. And again, this is just the herbs, so they're all still kicking and kind of filling in. And you know, one of the things that got me started gardening in the first place was I really love to make my own salsa, and so I got all the herbs I need for that. You know, the oregano, the thyme, the chives, onions, garlics, all those things to help make different kinds of salsas and for fresh herbs when I'm cooking. Again, here's some more tomatoes. These are my uh, indeterminate type of tomatoes. So there's two types of tomatoes. There's determinants and indeterminants. And indeterminants are types of tomatoes that will keep growing up a vine. And so you'll see I have a structure over there. So I have a new one I want to build, but that's the trick with those is they keep growing up the vine as the season progresses. So some of the varieties I have for these are I have Kellogg tomato, I have Sart Relois back there. That's a Mountain Magic. I have a couple Cherokee Carbons, and then these two on the end, and you can see the guys down in these. Anyway, these two on the end, I have a coworker from Bulgaria, and this is some seeds that he brought back. So that's what those are. So in this bed, you can see I got a couple celeries planted. There is a broccoli rapini, a couple cabbages. Along the end there, you can see the peas are starting to come through. Those are the climbing peas, so they're sugar snap peas. So um, that's the kind that you actually eat the shells as well, and you can put them in stir fries and things. And it's funny, there's a couple of these coming up in here, like this guy. It looks like it's a potato. So I grew potatoes in here a year ago, and I'm wondering if I just missed a couple of them. So I might have some couple potato plants in here. So kind of funny. So in this bed, you can see I've got the insect netting over. So I'm not really concerned about the insects right now with it being as cool as it is still, and these are radishes. But this is the same bed I'm going to put zucchinis in later on, and the squash bugs can wreak havoc on those. So it'll be good to have this. But you can see all the different types of radishes. They're all kind of coming in, kind of coming up. So excited about that. There's a dead wasp in there, somehow got in here. But yeah, that's kind of some good stuff. So some people don't like radishes; they think they're too strong. I kind of like having them, like them as snacks, and then also on my salads. So you can roast them as well, and sometimes people like those a little bit better. But we'll show some of that as we start getting some of them. And then this is the last one I wanted to show you guys. So these are little baby carrots that are starting to poke through. So I kind of just gave each one of these carrots a square foot of area. And carrot seeds are really small, so they're kind of hard to, they don't like to be transplanted, and they're really small. So the way I did these, I kind of put them around. I would keep those boards on them a little bit, trying to help. The trick with them is you want to keep them as moist as possible so they finally start to germinate. But then once they get going, then you let them get a little bit bigger, and then you can start kind of thinning them out a little bit so they're not too thick. But anyway, so that's kind of fun. In the back there, I've got a couple cherry tomato plants. Those are the sun gold cherry tomatoes. So I'll put some cages on those once I take these kind of the wall of waters that help with the frost prevention issues off. So I'll do that around for my area. Typically, they say Mother's Day. So I'll see what the weather's looking like around that time. And if it's looking good enough, then we'll take those off. So anyway, that is the garden. I just got just some onions in these beds. These will be peppers. So I have the onions that are just going to go between the pepper plants, and kind of trying to make some good use of space. Anyway, that is the garden update. Can't resist. One more thing. These tulips are just so pretty. So I put those in last fall. So pretty happy that they all came up, and they're looking so nice. So anyhow, hope you guys found that interesting, and we'll keep showing you things as we get some produce going. So, just a really short update for this week. Um, got some other couple of things planned. Hopefully, I can get in the next couple of weeks to give you a little bit more interesting stuff as far as some ideas. But overall things are going well. I'm heading in the right direction. I'm gonna set me a new goal. So this is, you know, the month of May is coming up, and so if by May 31st I have 5 weeks. So I'm gonna set a goal to be under 400 by the end of May. So that's a huge deal for me. I mean, if you consider that I was nearly, I was over 550 pounds, at least that I measured. I was probably higher than that. So to get back down into the 300s is pretty huge. I mean, the lowest I have ever been able to get was down into the mid 300s. So I'm back to nearly the lowest point of my recollection. So it gives me 5 weeks. So it's just over 2 pounds a week. I don't have any trips on the horizon outside of a weekend camping trip in May. So I think it should be doable. I don't see anything that should stop me. And so it gives me, it's good to set goals, I think, because it gives you a good incentive, good helps with the motivation. That's half the battle. You got to keep doing it. These help. I mean, they definitely make you feel full, and so you're going to naturally be inclined to do a little better. But for me, it's not a magic pill like it is for some people. I still have to do some work. I still have to get my workouts in. I still have to do my fasts, and then besides those, I still need to control myself and not go too far off the the deep end if it comes to snacks or those kinds of things. So anyhow, uh, that's my goal. Get me over 150 pounds total loss. So hopefully it's going to happen. So anyhow, guys, I hope you guys are having success in all of your efforts. Let me know if there's any questions you guys have or types of things you'd like to see. I'm happy to share them. Types of foods you want to see how to do. I do all kinds of stir fries, salads, all that kind of stuff, from my hydroponics and from my outside garden, trying to be healthy. And that's going to be exciting too, as I get my outside garden really going. I can show you guys doing a lot of things, like with more with the freeze drying, with different veggie chips and snacks that I want to try and that I've made in there, and then also how I do my own healthy variants of pasta sauces and those kinds of things, with zucchini noodles and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a good summer, hopefully. So anyhow, keep fighting the fat, guys. Cheers.